Every week on Bullseye, we like to wrap things up with a pop culture recommendation from me. It's The Outshot. I bought it in paperback from a thrift store. The cover is gold with that big, fat, loopy 70s typeface for all the titles. And there's a giant billboard at the top. It says, "A bestseller, bursting with love." The illustration underneath is a veterinarian rolling up his sleeves and a bunch of farm animals. Sort of like the poster for Cannonball Run or something. If instead of Burt Reynolds there was a veterinarian and instead of Roger Moore there was a pig. It's all a little corny, embarrassing. I mean, seriously, a bestseller bursting with love? But I have to admit this to you. I loved All Creatures Great and Small. If you don't know All Creatures Great and Small, it's the memoir of a country veterinarian named James Herriot. He was Scottish, but he worked in the Yorkshire Dales in northern England. This was in the 30s, between the wars. All Creatures Great and Small is gentle, it's funny, and it does, in actual truth, burst with love. There's a BBC TV show, too, from the 80s. It's no less wonderful.
I'll get some made up for you.
Good lad. I like an open mind.
But that back of yours, Mr. Pickersgill.
What about it?
Well, you've had lumbago ever since I've known you.
A sight longer.
I've just thought of something. I think I know what might cure it.
Nay, you know how to put me right.
Well, I think so. Nothing to do with medicine. You will have to stop milking.
Stop milking?
Look, don't you see, Mr. Pickersgill? It's sitting on the crouched on that low stool night and morning every day of the week that's doing it. Look, you're a big chap. You have to bend to get down there. I'm sure it's bad for you.
You really think that could be it?
Yes, I do. It's worth a try, anyway. Couldn't Olive do the milking?
All of it?
Well, there's only 10 cows, Dad. Of course I can. I like milking, you know I do. And it's time you give it a rest.
Dang it, young man. I believe you're right. I'll pack it in now.
Harriet scoots around the Dales in an old car with no brakes, and every chapter is a different visit. A different farm, a different animal, a different problem. But most importantly, a different farmer and a different family. Harriet breezes through the medical procedures, sort of like it was the most normal thing in the world to strip to your waist in a shed and stick your whole arm up a cow. But he lingers on the people. All Creatures Great and Small has a primary cast: Harriet, his sweet blowhard boss, his boss's lazy brother, eventually a love interest, but the reserved, flinty farmers of the Dales are the stars. In a few pages or a couple of minutes on screen in the TV show, they come to life. Herriot himself is gregarious. At the very least, he is in print and on TV, and the farmers are very much the opposite. It's the way of the Dales. They're unconvinced. They know better. He has to win them over. But Harriet, he does the work. Eventually, the side eyes turn into, a little parcel of scones or a few fresh eggs on the passenger seat of his car. And then he's off to the next farm.
Hello. I came as quickly as I could.
I'm sorry for your trouble, Mr. Herriot.
Well, it's not too late.
I'm afraid so. It were very sudden. I don't think he suffered.
Poor old Prince. Well, how's Miss Stubbs?
I'm sure she'd like to see you.
Well, yes, of course.
You go on through.
Thank you. Hello. Mrs. Broadwith told me I'm so awfully sorry.
I think he had a good life, Mr. Herriot.
Yes, of course he did. He was 15, Miss Stubbs. What is more, he was loved and well cared for.
Yes, that's true. Well, it'll be my turn next.
What do you mean?
Well, Prince went this morning. I'm going to be next. I just know it.
That's nonsense. You're just feeling down, that's all. Lots of people do when things like this happen.
Oh, I'm not afraid. I know there's something much better waiting for me. I've never had any doubts. Only one fear. It's my cats and dogs, Mr. Herriot. I'm afraid I might never see them when I'm gone. So, you see, I know I'll be reunited with my parents and with my brothers, but...
And why not with your animals?
Oh, it's just it. You see, animals have no souls.
Who says?
I've I've read it, and I know a lot of religious people who believe it.
Well, I don't believe it, Miss Stubbs. If having a soul means being able to feel love and gratitude and loyalty, then a lot of animals are better off than humans. You've got nothing to worry about there.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right.
There are plenty of heartwarming stories in All Creatures Great and Small. Lambing season is pretty great. There are a few swift kicks from horses and cows. There's genuine sadness, death, hunger. Herriot looks down the barrel of death and poverty without breaking his tone. What could end up being sentimental or schmaltzy is instead respectful and almost beautiful. All Creatures Great and Small is a story that unfolds gently over time. He earns the farmer's trust. He meets a girl, they get married. He makes partner in the firm, and in between each of those big moments, he drives that rickety old car from farm to farm, and he gives his patients care. It's a simple story from that point between modernity and something much older. It slows you down, and it suggests some very simple ideas, that we take on each challenge with care and an open heart, that we leave the tragedies behind us, that we show gratitude for each other, invite someone in for some tea, leave a few fresh scones on the passenger seat. I mean, I guess you could say it's bursting with love. That's my outshot.